Hello there, I'm Steve from Mac84 and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at a PowerBook and a Apple Newton MessagePad. I just picked these up and I'm very excited to see the condition that they're in and if they work. So let's get right into it. And if you like vintage Apple stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel. There's a lot of cool episodes that I've recorded in the past and a lot more to come. So first we're going to take a look at this PowerBook. Now this is a PowerBook 100. I don't have one of these, at least not a working one with a screen. Yeah, the one I have is kind of a parts-only machine. But I've always wanted one of these. It's the first Apple notebook computer released in 1991. A huge, huge leap forward from the luggable Macintosh Portable that was released a few years prior. The PowerBook 100 was essentially a miniaturized Mac Portable. It was released in October 1991 and cost about $2,500 with the bundled external floppy drive. Its specs were also similar to the Mac Portable, with a low-power Motorola 68000 16MHz CPU, 2 MB of built-in memory, expandable up to 8, and a 640x400 monochrome display. Keep in mind the Mac Portable sold for over $7,000 just 2 years earlier. The PowerBook 100 was released simultaneously with the thicker, faster, and more expensive PowerBook 140 and 170 models, which each had a built-in floppy drive. This was on Facebook Marketplace. I saw it locally and I contacted the person and, well, someone else was interested, but it turns out that it was still available afterwards and I went to pick it up. They also had another item which we'll be looking at in a little bit. But first, I want to open up this bag, see what's inside, and then we'll see if this PowerBook works. I love the color of this bag. It's like a teal color. It just screams like early 1990s. So let's open the bag and see what's inside. There we have our PowerBook, all snugly wrapped in there. Looks to be in pretty darn good shape. Let's see what else is in here. I think, yep, there's stuff in the pouch here. Ooh, we have the floppy drive, because this PowerBook does not have a built-in floppy drive, so you would have to use the external one. And we have a power brick here, because I'm sure that battery is long dead. But this bag is pretty nice. What company is it? Mac Luggage. How about that? It's an actual one made for Macs. It's really cool. Now, the person I picked this PowerBook up from was no stranger to Macs. They had quite a few of them. And they told me that when they turned this on recently, it did turn on, but they didn't think the hard drive was working and there was nothing really displaying on the screen. So I don't know if they meant that the screen was black or it was blank, but we'll soon find out. Now, this PowerBook is different because it was actually designed by Sony, but it's a PowerBook all the same. So let's plug it in and see if it turns on. So let's take a look inside before we power it up, and looks like the screen's in pretty darn good shape, and the plastics are pretty good too. There's some scuffs and marks, but nothing terrible. There is some tape on the cursor button. I don't know if that's like to keep it there. Maybe it broke or something. That's, oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, that's not supposed to be like that. Well, that's okay. I actually have parts from the other PowerBook 100 I have, so maybe we could do a little bit of a restoration. But today we're just going to be turning this thing on. But the screen looks like it's in pretty good shape. We have the contrast and brightness knobs here, and of course the badge here. It says PowerBook 100. So let's take a look at the I/O of what this PowerBook included. The door is intact, which is nice. Not all of these still have the door on them. We do have a dial-up modem that's internal. That was an optional thing that you could add on to this. One ADB port, one serial port. And then next to those are two HDI ports. One is for the floppy disk drive, and one is for SCSI. You'll need adapters to plug that into a standard SCSI device. And then we have audio out. And here is a little door for the PRAM battery. I think those are button cells. And then we have the power jack here. And we also have this little switch for the battery, I guess, to lock it or something like that. I really don't have any experience with these PowerBooks other than, taking a look at a few online. But yeah, it has little feet, so you could have the little thing. Whoop, well, that foot doesn't want to stick there. But anyway, these feet allow you to have the machine resting up a little bit. Makes it easier to type, but yeah, maybe these need some work. But anyway, that's the least of my concerns. I want to see if it works. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to open it up, and we're going to try and turn it on and see what happens. So I have the power cord here, and it does say Macintosh PowerBook adapter on here. And we're going to plug that into the power strip and see what happens. All right, it's plugged in, and Where's the power button? Oh, there's a reset and interrupt keys on the side. Do I just press a key on the keyboard? Is it like the Macintosh Portable? Or is there a power button by the door? Nope. Maybe restart? Well, either I'm guessing poorly or it's dead. Yeah, I really don't know about these PowerBooks at all, so interesting. I'm going to try taking the battery out because maybe that's an issue. Sometimes these PowerBooks are very cranky if they have a dead battery in them. And the battery here is on the front, so if I move this plastic out of the way, I should hopefully be able to get that out of there. So here's the PowerBook 100 rechargeable battery. I actually have a stack of these things. They're all probably dead. But okay, without the battery, let's see if it does anything different. Try the restart button. Try the interrupt button. No buttons on the back. What the heck? I'm going to try and remove the PRAM battery from this machine. Thankfully, it's accessible via the back, and we'll see if that makes any difference in this thing wanting to turn on or not. Well, that's a big battery, or a stack of batteries. Oh, wow. I'll buy a PowerBook for 3 batteries. And with the PRAM battery removed, let's see if this thing wants to turn on. Nothing. So either the power supply is dead or the PowerBook is dead. So I guess I could grab another power supply and we'll figure that out. Through the miracle of electronics, we could see if we have any voltage coming out of this power supply. So let's try it out. We're going to jam this in there. And without even touching the ground, through the magic of having 2 power supplies, let's test another one here. Oh, the screen is flickering. I can hear the hard drive going like, meh, meh. Ooh, it's trying. What the heck is going on here? I did find all of these spare batteries, but I don't think that's going to help power this machine on because these batteries are long dead. Okay, after much rummaging around, I found another power supply. This is by a different company, Masaka E. And again, it's a DC 7.5 volt power supply, 2 amps, and this one's labeled Macintosh PowerBook AC adapter, so hopefully this will get this machine going. Alright, 3rd time's a charm. Again, flickering. That hard drive is spinning, stopping, spinning, stopping. I'm going to guess this needs a recap. I mean, I paid $50 for this machine. Terrible deal? I don't think so. It is in pretty good physical shape, and at least it came with a floppy drive, and I do have a parts one, so I guess I could combine them, and that's probably what we'll be doing in a future episode, but yeah. This needs some recapping, or something else is wrong with it, so we'll be taking it apart in the future, I'm sure. Well, the PowerBook was a bust, but let's take a look at what's in that Newton bag. Next up, we have this lovely Newton bag. So, let's see what's inside of it. We have a Newton MessagePad. We have a VHS videotape. Welcome to Newton. Might have to watch this to understand how to use this device. And it looks like we have a bunch of booklets and stuff and a Newton modem. Apple produced so many of these. There's a funny video on YouTube of Apple employees using these like dominos. I'll link it in the video description, but Yeah, I think they produced a lot more of these than they ended up selling. And the rest looks like we have a bunch of books, so let's take this stuff out. And this bag is pretty nice too. I like the Newton logo on it, and it has a zipper up here. Nothing in there, but at least you have two compartments, so that's nice. Let's take a look at the documentation and stuff. So if the book is to be believed, this is a Newton MessagePad 110. And so we have the handbook for that. We have a improved handwriting recognition important information pamphlet. We have a setup and handwriting guide. We have a warranty flyer. We have a meet the relatives thing here. And this is probably talking about, yep, there's the cables and such that we could buy for our Newton to connect it to PCs or Macs, etc. Ooh, we have a product registration card. Oh, this is cool. To scan this in and send it to Apple, and they'd be like, huh? What? Let's see, what's the, this goes to a P.O. box in Brea, California, B-R-E-A. I wonder if their offices are still there. Probably not. We also have a fax modem handbook. Okay, that's cool. That's the manual or the handbook for this little modem. And some advertisement that's meant to look like a memo with writing on it. This is about, oh, this is from Mac Warehouse. Ah, this is cool. From the desk of Kerry. Thanks for choosing Mac Warehouse. Well, I guess we could assume where they got this Newton from. Ooh, look at this. Newton stickers and Apple stickers. Oh, that's so cool. These are beautiful glossy stickers. I don't think I'll ever use them, but they're going up in the background somewhere. That's cool. We have another registration card. This with a similar address. I wonder what this was for. Let's exchange numbers, it says. And it's actually stuck. There's like the adhesive, I guess, leaked, or got hot and moved around. But we'll open that up later. There's a folded up piece of paper. Free floppy disk pocket calculator from Mac Warehouse. Oh, that's great. I actually have one of these somewhere. Now we know where it came from. It was a freebie. Let's see if there's a date on here. No. But yeah, basically with your next order, you got a free calculator floppy disk. Oh, look at this. Some more booklets. Newton software title, so it's like a little catalog. Let's see what's in here. There's a lot of booklets in this thing. Yeah, so that's about software. Another Meet the Relatives pamphlet. Apple software license agreement. Free gift offer inside. And another warranty booklet, but that's a thicker one. So if you send in your Newton registration, you get 3 free issues of Intelligent Newton magazine when you mail in this registration card. I wonder if they're still giving those away. Never heard of that magazine. I wonder if those are archived. That's cool. We have a user manual for a piece of software, Newton List Manager. Pretty self-explanatory, I suppose. And a little thing from StarCore about installing Newton packages. Oh, and look, here's the discs. There we go. This is probably already archived somewhere, but we have a Macintosh disk and a Windows disk. I guess this was for installing your software, but hey, we have that. That's pretty cool. Oh, wait, we have a Mac Warehouse receipt here for this Newton. Oh my goodness, guess how much this thing cost. I'm going to block out the personal information here, but this was purchased on October 5th, 1994 for a grand total of $599. And with sales tax and everything, this came to $640.94. Wow. Yeah, so that's really cool. It's really cool to get like the original documentation with the things that shipped here. This looks like it held some floppy disks in the past. Oh, this is another Mac Warehouse receipt for Power Organizer Pack. And doesn't have a price on it, so maybe it was like an included thing. Newton Mail Registration Certificate. Oh, so this was for when you were registering your Newton to go online and get a Newton Mail account. So that's pretty neat. And, oh, this looks like a folded up box or something. What is this? This is cool. How to download software to your Newton. This is neat. This is a power organizer pack, and this apparently came with the Newton fax modem, the list manager, and Expense Plus. So there you go. That's really neat. It must have been in this this box type thing. I don't know how this was. Maybe it was like this or something, but that's really neat. There's a UPC code on the back of it and everything, and oh, that's really cool. There's a battery here, probably dead. And what is this? Oh, Newton Mail Starter Kit. Hey, look at that. Even if this thing is dead, there's a lot of cool accessories here. Now you can receive important messages practically anywhere, and there's a bunch of getting started stuff and things like that. That is super cool. This person kept it all in very nice condition. Newton Power Organizer Pack. This is a getting started thing. So I think it's pretty much the information that was on the back of this. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. And oh, Expense Plus. So this is the software. There's the little sticker on the back there that I guess came with that. And the discs are still inside. Oh, this is really cool. Program disk for Macintosh and for Windows. So that had the package file on it. So you could transfer it to your Newton, but obviously if you had a Mac or a PC, you had to have a different disk. This is also by the company called StarCore. And we have a little handbook for Expense Plus, which is expense reporting software. Very cool. Well, I don't think I'll be doing my expenses on this thing, but it's nice to have all the software and all the documentation included. I'll have to get some close-ups of this Newton, but it is in pretty darn good condition. You can see that's where the button battery went, and then you have 4 AA's here. Now I could power it by batteries, but I do have a Newton power adapter. So we're going to use that to see if this thing works. And the angle of this is probably going to be a little bit difficult for you guys to see, so I'm probably going to do some close-ups and such. But yeah, there is some stickiness to the surface of this, but that's to be expected. All Newtons sort of go through that, especially on the front here. It's a little, I don't know, discolored, I guess is the term for it. But on the front it just says MessagePad. It doesn't say MessagePad 130 or something like that, like the older models did, the newer models rather. But this was the 110 model, and it's in pretty good shape. It has the screen cover. None of my Newton 130s did. And on the back it does say the model number of 110. So let's see if we could prop it up here. That's not going to stay too long, is it? And we'll plug it in and see if it does anything. And thanks to my friend Frank for sending me the stylus for the Newton and the eMate series. So we could use the screen, assuming this powers up. So there's the power socket. Let's plug it in. See if anything happens. I'm going to have to push the... Oh, wait. We have a noise. Oh, there we go. Hey, it works. Oh, that's awesome, which is good. I paid a little bit more than I paid for the PowerBook for this thing, but I thought it was worth it because it had the bag and all the accessories and stuff. And even the bag had a little sticker about accepting the warranty terms and the agreement and licensing stuff. It wants us to calibrate the screen, so I'm going to try and do this so you could see it, but I apologize if there's glare on the screen or if I can't zoom in enough, etc. But it seems like the screen is working, which is good. There's no bad spots on it or anything. It's a little dusty, but other than that, it seems to work pretty well. I doubt there's going to be any information on here because the batteries were removed, so it's probably just, you know, brand new from the factory blank. But yeah, there we go. We have the Newton turned on, and let's get you a closer look and we can play around with this thing for a little bit. Now, none of my other Newtons came with this, and that is the stylus built in right here. How cool is that? It's funny, the videotape that came with the Newton is nearly the size of the device itself. Thankfully, the Newton is a bit thinner. Yeah, without that battery, it's going to make me go through the calibration every time. The Newton is basically a note-taking device on steroids. There's a lot of cool features this thing could do. It has built-in infrared, so you can beam information from one device to the other. There are expansion card slots on the Newton, so you can plug in extra memory or a dial-up modem and things like that. There's also a serial port and stuff, but the main killer app of this thing was writing and handwriting recognition. And this model doesn't have a backlight, so I apologize if you can't really see things that well, but you can scribble things here. So if I wanted to scribble, I can. So I'm going to do a little drawing here. There we go, and I could just, well, there we go. There we go. You could erase things like that. And if I wanted to do handwriting recognition here, I think I could just do it slower, like this. I'm going to write hello. Nello. All right, well, let's try that again. Hollow. All right, we're gonna give you another chance here, Newton. Oh boy. It got that right. Oh goodness. I mean, the later Newton MessagePad software on the Newton 2000 and the 2100, they had excellent handwriting recognition. But you know, this being what, the second model, not the best. But let's try something else. Let's say Apple. All right, PowerBook. There we go. Won't turn on. Yeah, there we go. It sort of got the on part, but that was almost flawless. So, yeah, I mean, something like this in, what, 1993 or so? Pretty groundbreaking. Now, you can do other things. There is this little email button at the top, and that's sort of like the share sheet in iOS. So we can print the note, we could fax it, we could beam it to another Newton. If we had electronic mail set up, we could mail it. We could also delete it or duplicate it. And if when you press delete, there's a cute little animation here. Whoops, that's duplicate. Let's delete it. It crumbles it up and throws it in the trash. How cool is that? There's also an assistant feature here, which is pretty cool. And basically, if you had a bunch of contacts and stuff like that, and you tap this, you could say, please fax Steve. And you hit do. It's kind of like a Siri type thing. Well, it says fax she, but yeah, sure. let's fax her. And yeah, it would be smart enough to say, oh, well, let's bring up this little fax window. And yeah, you could do this stuff manually, but the assistant stuff was pretty cool. Now, if you're not a fan of the handwriting recognition, there is a keyboard here. You can hunt and peck and say, hello. And I don't know where it put that. There it goes. So you can see it works that way as well. There is an undo button down here. There's also a find button. And you have your contacts and your calendar. But if you go to extras, this is where you're going to find everything else basically. So here in extras, we have an inbox and an outbox. If you tap on connection, this is where you would set up if you wanted to connect to your Macintosh via a serial or local talk connection or a PC. We also have some other options here. If you had a card in here with some memory or some applications, you would tap on that. You would also configure your time zones, your preferences, and any other settings here. You could adjust the volume. It says the battery there, but we're plugged into the wall. And yeah, that's a very quick tour of the Newton. It was a very cool device. There's a lot more than it could do that I'm showing off here, but this is just a quick tour of how the device works. The later models really improved with their handwriting recognition, and the Newton was becoming a great little device. Unfortunately, when Steve Jobs came back to Apple, that's one of the first things he killed off. But that just goes to show you that not everything works perfectly. And I'm very glad I didn't spend big bucks on a PowerBook 100 only to have it not work. But that's sort of to be expected with computers these days. Capacitors leak and batteries leak, and this stuff just doesn't work as well as it used to sometimes. But that's okay, I like fixing them up, and hopefully we'll be able to do that with this PowerBook very soon. If you like these sorts of videos, please consider subscribing to the channel. You could also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. My handle is Mac84TV. And if you want to support my crazy shenanigans on Patreon, you could do so as well for as little as $1 a month. That's about it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you right here next time on Mac84.